first seat, yeah. Or second seat, I guess. Thank you. Second, I'd like to invite the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Planning from Colombia, Ms. Jennifer Mojica Flores. And then the First Deputy Minister of Justice of Georgia, Ms. Tamar Keshelashvili. And finally, from Sierra Leone, we have the Minister of Lands, Housing, and Country Planning, Mr. Turad Senesi. So, in my role as CEO of Landesa, I spend a lot of time trying to pitch the importance of land, but I realize we don't need to do that here. Everybody knows land matters. But at Landesa, we've been doing this for almost 50 years, and clearly that message is not reaching the world. Progress has been halting at best, and I guess we have to ask ourselves, why is that? What are the challenges that are getting in our way? Is it political? Is it resources? Is it capacity? Is it the culture? Is it technology? And why do we see certain successes happening in certain places around the world? What motivates governments to step up? And what have been some of their success factors? Those are the issues that we're going to try to look at today. And I'm going to start, I guess I'll sit down. So my biggest challenge today will be trying to get this all done in the 60 minutes allotted, because each one of these panelists could give a master class in land rights, I have no doubt about it. But we're going to ask them to try to limit their responses to 3 to 4 minutes. I know I'm going to have some help with a flashing card somewhere. And then that should leave us with time afterwards for a little bit of Q&A. So, starting to my left, Minister Yudhoyono. Quick background, you were appointed this year as Minister of Agrarian Affairs and Spatial Planning. You're also the General Chair of the Democratic Party in Indonesia, and you founded the Yudhoyono Institute, which is a think tank on democracy and prosperity. And of course, you have many other accomplishments, but we'll keep it to that for the moment. So recently, we know at Landesa that there's been tremendous progress in Indonesia, where we've started doing some work. And over 100 million parcels of land have now been mapped and registered, which is a remarkable accomplishment. I understand that another 26 million parcels will be registered in the coming year or so. And so I guess the question to you is, what's motivated this sudden movement around land, and what are some of the challenges that you've faced? And I want to just make clear, we're going to have 2 rounds of questions. So we'll start with the motives and challenges, and then we'll get to some of the success factors. So please.
Thank you, Chris. But before I answer your question, on behalf of the government of Indonesia, allow me to express our sincere gratitude for this invitation to this conference, and thank you for your continuous support to make Indonesian agrarian reform a great success. And we are grateful for your help to our communities impacted by natural disaster. So World Bank has indeed made a significant contribution to our systematic land registration program, which is fundamental for 3 main reasons. First one, this program provides legal certainty for landowners. The primary agrarian problem in Indonesia is the minimal ownership of land titles. So when, at my first day as minister, I flew to Manado, North Sulawesi. It's 3 hours flight from Jakarta. And I met this 80-year-old lady. Her name is Miss Adela. And she has been living in her house for half of her life, but never possessed any legal documentation until I gave her in person a certificate of land titles. She smiled in joy and relief, probably because this is the first time ever, after so many years, that she has something to be given to her next generation. So millions of Indonesians and citizens share the similar story with Miss Adela. And in East Java, there are thousands of farmers. So last week we gave and distributed 10,000 land certificates to those 3 generations of farmers. Never had any land certificates before. And in Indonesia, of course, most cases, land ownership is hereditary. So for decades, this de facto form of ownership is considered adequate for many societies. Of course, this kind of mindset has led to many problems and conflicts, especially when landowners dies or there's a ownership changes hands, because land can be claimed and repossessed by other parties at any time. So to provide